Hello everyone, hi, welcome to the channel of Wall Street Mojo. Watch the video till the end, and if you're new to this channel, then you can subscribe us by clicking the bell icon. Friends, today we have a topic that is non-performing asset, a biggest problem right now in India. The Indian banking system is facing a turmoil situation out here because there is a hell lot of NPOs that's hitting them hard on their balance sheets. So let's understand what exactly this all about. Why this is the important thing for the bank at large, and not only banks but even the central bank, the RBI is one big chunk that is involved in handling such NPAs because of its regulations. So non-performing assets, it refers to classification of what we call as loans and advances. Okay, in the books of the what we call as lender, in which there is no payment of interest and the principal have received and are past due. So in most of the cases, debt has been classified as the NPA, non-performing assets, where the loan payment have been outstanding for greater than 90 days. Take this number in mind in a very close way. So in the term sheets or probably the sanction letters of every loan, the period of default under which the loan will be classified as NPA are generally mentioned. First, a NPA is generally classified on the bank's what we call as the bank's balance sheet, and the percentage of the NPA out of the total advances has become a vital ratio for the banks to keep a check on before making the results public. Second, more than, that is greater than 90 days, where the payment is due on the bank's loan and the advance is moved to NPA. Third, as we have noted from the above, from that particular screenshot, this Bank of America has an NPA of around $4170 million that has been accrued for 90 days or more. We'll take an example here to understand. For example, let's say there is a company called XYZ, and it has taken a loan of, let's say, $100 million from a bank, let's say TCB Bank, on which it needs to pay, let's say, $10,000. This is 100 million, okay? Take that in head. And 10,000 is the interest that is supposed to be paid every month for 5 years. Now, on the borrower's default on the bank for 3 consecutive months, that is 90 days, then the bank needs to classify the loan as NPA in the balance sheet for the financial year. Okay, I hope with this particular example, you must have got the idea. Now, what exactly are the types of NPA? Let's learn. First is the term loans. Now, a term loan is the plain vanilla debt facility. It will be treated as an NPA when the principal or the interest installment of the loan has been due for greater than 90 days. It's a plain vanilla debt. Second, cash credit or OD, which is known as your overdraft facility. Now, when we talk about this, as a cash credit or an overdraft when remaining past due, let's say for 90 days, it can be treated as NPA. Third, there are things called agricultural advances. Now, agriculture advances that have been past due for more than 2 crops season, for short crop duration, or 1 crop duration for long duration crops. So there could be various other types of NPA, including the residential mortgage, home equity loans, credit card loans, non-credit card outstandings, and direct and indirect consumer loans. So it is possible there. Now, let's do classification of NPA for banks. Now, banks are required to make substandardization of the non-performing asset into the 4 broad categories. The first category that starts is the standard assets. Now, the standard assets are those assets which have remained as an NPA for the duration greater than what we call as 12 months, or for a period of 12 months or less than 12 months. Okay, equal to, this greater sign has to be removed, less than or equal to 12 months, and the risk of the asset is what we call as normal. There's no problem in that. Then another is called the substandard assets. Now, for the period of more than 12 months, The non-performing assets classified when we say greater than 12M, it is classified as substandard assets. And this kind of advances possesses more than normal risk. So you can say greater than N risk. Such kind of advance, they are targeting the credit worthiness of the borrower and is quite weak. And banks are generally ready to take some haircut on the loan amount, which are categorized under this asset class. Third are called the doubtful debts. Now, what exactly are the doubtful debts? See, for a period which is extending, let's say for greater than 18 months, non-performing assets come under the category of the doubtful debts. So doubtful debt itself means that the banks is highly doubtful of the recovery of its advances. So the collection of such kind of advances is highly questionable, and there is a very least probability, you can say, that the loan amount can be recovered from the party. And such kind of advances, they put the bank what we call as the liquidity, and not only that, but the prestige under the jeopardy, or probably the in a turmoil state. And the last is called the loss assets. See, the final classification of the non-performing asset is the loss assets, where the loan has been identified either by the what we call as bank itself or by the external auditors. Now, not only that, external, internal auditor also, and that the loan amount collection is not possible, and the bank has to take a dent, it's a perfect word, in its balance sheet, and the bank in this case has to write off the entire amount of the loan and amount outstanding, or need to make a provision for the full amount which needs to be written off in the future. Now, there are things bank need to bear in the mind before making a loan advance. The first is called the character. Second is called what sort of collateral they are offering. The third, whether the client is in a capacity to pay such loan. Fourth is the some conditions or probably some constraints that you put. So these are the four things that they need to take care of. Now, I'll quickly run through each and every one. Character, the character of the borrower needs to be judged, and the willingness of the company to repay its debt, it needs to ponder upon. So the management, history, revenue pipelines, stock performances, media coverages of the company should be taken into consideration to rightly make an opinion about the company. Now, if we talk about collateral, the value of the collateral which has been pledged needs to be assessed, and proper valuations of such property assets should be done, keeping in mind the loan to value ratio, which is known as your LTV ratio. Right. Third is the capacity. The capacity that the loans, company's financials and future revenues, projections of the company should be analyzed by the bank. And also the existing lenders which are already on the company's balance sheet needs to be studied very properly in order to get the right collateral before providing the advance. And the last is the condition. At last, the overall environment in the market and the industry condition should be kept in mind. The external and the internal factors that can affect the business in the future should be considered and needs to be analyzed in a very detailed format. So, big credit analysis firm judges any company in the 4C parameters, and they need to. So, this is it for the topic of NPA, non-performing asset. If you have learned and liked the video, if you think that if you have enjoyed and learned watching this video, please like, comment on this video and subscribe to our channel for all the latest updates. Thank you everyone. Cheers.